Hello students, I'm Anita Abraham, Associate Professor of English. Welcome to the English classroom. This is video number 4 dated 21/7/2020. Today's English lesson is from Semester 3, Unit 3 of the General English Curriculum prescribed by Osmania University for students of BA, BCom, BSc and BBA. Today's topic from Unit 3 is titled Vocabulary Phrasal Verbs. If you like my video, please subscribe and press the bell icon so that you get notification of subsequent videos. Let's get started. What are phrasal verbs? Phrasal verbs are phrases that indicate action. They are generally used in spoken and written language and also sometimes in informal texts. For example, such verbs include turn down, come across, run into. Phrasal verbs consist of a verb and a preposition or an adverb. For example, get up, go through, write down, take after. These are some examples of phrasal verbs, but let's look at it in detail. Let's look at the following sentences on your screen. Look at the first sentence. Children hold their parents' hand while crossing the road. Look at the second sentence. When I called, he asked me to hold on. Look at the use of hold in the first sentence and hold on in the second sentence. In the first sentence, hold is a verb and it means to grasp or to take support of. But with the addition of the preposition in the second sentence, the preposition on, the meaning changes completely. Hold on means wait in the second sentence. Similarly, take a look at these examples. The mirror broke into pieces. The car broke down yesterday. So with the addition of down, the verb broke acquires a completely new meaning in the second sentence. Okay, so it means it stopped working. Let's take a look at some more sentences so that you're clear with phrasal verbs. Look at this sentence. You should always look before you leave. Look at the second sentence. I look forward to meeting you. The meaning of the verb look gets transformed in the second sentence with the addition of the adverb forward and the preposition to. Look forward to here would mean anticipate with pleasure. Now take a look at these sentences. You must always look before you leap. Here look is the verb in the first sentence. You may look up the phone book for the contact number. Look up is a phrasal verb and it means to search or find information. Look at these examples so that it becomes more clearer for your students so that you know the difference between a verb and a phrasal verb. Someone is looking after his old parents. Okay, phrasal verb looking plus the preposition after, look after means or looking after means taking care of. I am looking forward to meeting you. Again, looking forward is a phrasal verb. It means anticipate with pleasure. It is verb looking plus the preposition forward. Okay. Thus, a phrasal verb is a phrase consisting of a verb and a preposition or an adverb or both a verb, preposition and an adverb, and together they function as a verb. Did you get it, students? Okay, so let's move on. Moreover, the same phrasal verb may have different meanings in different sentences. For example, look at this sentence. My car broke down yesterday. She broke down when she failed in the test. Now you have the car breaking down and the girl breaking down. So in the first sentence, my car broke down, it means there was a problem with the car. When in the second sentence, she broke down when she failed in the sentence, here broke down becomes to become upset, lose control of one's emotion. Because the meaning of phrasal verbs is unpredictable, we have to learn what they mean by understanding them in context. Okay, so that's very important. Shall we move on to doing the exercises? Okay, so let's do exercise 1. And what do we have to do here? Choose the correct phrasal verb from the options given at the end of the sentence. So at the end of each sentence, you have been given two phrasal verbs and you need to choose the correct one. Okay, let's do the first one. I dash, but no one has seen my mobile. And the options are asked out, asked around. Okay, there are two phrasal verbs. Now you need to pick up the right one. And the right one is I asked around, but no one has seen my mobile. That is, you asked people and nobody found out. Or nobody had seen your mobile. Asked out is to invite somebody out. Okay, so that's the meaning of the phrasal verb asked out. But here we will use ask around. Look at the second one. The firemen had to dash the kitchen to rescue the residents. You have break in and break into. Okay, so which one would you use? Break into. The firemen had to break into the kitchen to rescue the residents. That is, they had to break open maybe the kitchen door, go rush into the kitchen, break into the kitchen and rescue the residents. The phrasal word break in would mean theft. The burglars broke into the house. That's a break-in. When there is a theft in the house, that's called a break-in. We had a break-in in the neighbor's house. That's what a break-in means. Here you would mean break. Here you would use break into. Sentence number 3. My boss dashed the meeting because of heavy rain. My boss dashed the meeting because of heavy rain. Called off, called back. Called off is what you would use, that is cancel. Call back is to recall something. Okay, we call back the goods because it was not up to the standards. Here called off is to cancel. So you would use the word called off in sentence 3. Moving on to sentence 4, let's fill in the blanks with the correct phrasal verb. Don't forget to take the room keys when you dash. Don't forget to take the room keys when you dash. Check in and check out. Those are the two phrasal verbs. So we will use check in because when you check in, you get the room keys in a hotel. But when you check out, you have to give the keys. You don't take the keys. So you will use check in here. The fifth sentence, let's move on in exercise 1. Diabetic patients are advised to dash sweets and oily food. Uh, you have cut off and cut back on. So what will you use? Cut back on. Cut back on is to reduce. Diabetic patients are advised to cut back on, reduce on sweets and oily food. Cut off is to terminate. Okay, I cut off all links with them. So that's how it is. That's the meaning of the phrasal word cut off. But here we would use cut back on, that is reduce. Let's move on to sentence 6. We dashed the bus when we reached our stop. What will you do when you reach your stop? You will get, we got off the bus when we reached our stop. Okay, so got off from the bus. You got down from the bus. Got out is to go out somewhere. All right, so you will use the phrasal verb got off. You disembark from the bus. 7. Let's fill the blank with the right phrasal verbs. This is your time to dash your old parents now. Look after, look for. Look after, take care of them. Look for is to search. Okay, so search is not the correct. Look for means to search, so that's not right. So you will lose look after, that is to take care. This is the right. This is your time to look after your old parents now. Let's move on to sentence 8 and fill it in with the right phrasal verb. She loves to dash with her friends on weekends. Hang out, hang on. Hang out is to spend time, so we will use hang out. She loves to hang out with her friends on weekends, meet and spend time. Hang on is to cling on to something, okay? So that's not the right usage here. Sentence number 9. I dash an old friend of mine at the theater. You have ran into, ran out. We'll use ran into, it means met by accident. Okay, I ran into an old friend of mine at the theater. Ran out is something getting over suddenly. We ran out of petrol while we were on the highway. We ran out of drinking water because the Manjira did not come. Manjira water supply did not come. So ran out is to finish, okay? But run into or ran into means meet somebody by accident. So I ran into an old friend of mine at the theater. And the last sentence in this exercise, let's take a look at it. She dash her father, both loves to read books. She and the phrasal verbs for us here are take off and take off, takes after, takes off and takes after. So we'll use takes after, which means she resembles her father. Okay, she has imbibed his qualities. She takes after her father, both loves to read books. Takes off is to leave. The plane takes off, took off the runway, or you disappear suddenly. He has a habit of taking off without any warning. Did you get that, students? So do you see how just a slight change of preposition, like for example, ran into, ran out, the meaning changes. Takes off, takes after, the meaning changes. So you need to use the right phrasal verb in the right place so that you can communicate effectively. Let's move on to exercise 2 in your textbook. Complete the phrasal verb with the correct particles. Okay, so let's do that. The first one is, I don't know where my phone is. It must, I must look dash it, and you have the option of, for, at, on. And what will you use? I must look for it. Okay, did you understand? So the verb is given. Now you have to just pick up the particle. It could be a preposition, it could be an adverb, and you have to pick it up, or it could be a preposition and an adverb, and you make the phrasal verb. Look at the second one. Fill dash the form with a pencil. Fill, what will you use? You have up, with, in, on. So what will you use? Fill in the form with a pencil. Good. Let's move on to sentence 3. The music is too loud. Please turn the volume dash. Look at all the options of particles you have here. On, out, down, off. Please turn the volume down. That is, make it lower. Lessen the volume. Turn dash the lights when you leave the room. You have down, off, on, out. So what would you use? Turn off the lights when you leave the room. That is, shut the lights off. Put the lights off. Okay, so that is what it means. Now, so you have been given the verb. The main verb is given to you, and you are picking up a particle. It is a preposition or sometimes an adverb. And what you're doing is making phrasal verbs. Okay, now look at the fifth sentence in exercise 2. Put dash your slipper when you enter the bathroom. Off, on, out, up. Put on. Okay, so put on your slippers when you enter the bathroom. What does that mean? Wear your slippers when you enter the bathroom. Sentence 6. Please switch dash the TV. I want to watch the match. So switch is your main verb and you have off, in, on, for. Please switch on the TV. That is turn the TV on. Okay. I want to watch the match. Sentence 7. Take dash your shoes when you enter the computer room. The options are out, on, off, off. So what will you, which will you use? Take off, OFF. Okay, remove your shoes when you enter the computer room. Very good. And then sentence 8. The food was stale. I had to throw it dash. So now you need to pick up and throw it off, away, down, in. So what do you do? What will you pick up? Throw it away. So here you're using an adverb. Okay, so you have throw, which is the main verb. You have it, which is the preposition, and you're using away. Throw it away. Okay. The firemen put dash the fire. What will you use? Put. You have off, on, in, out. You will use out. Put out. That is extinguished the fire. Okay. Hurry, dash. We are getting late. What will you use? On, up, in, out. Hurry up. Okay. Hurry up. We are getting late. So, do you see how verbs make the language more dramatic, conveys, communicates more when we use phrasal verbs. So it is important that we include phrasal verbs in our day-to-day communication to make our communication more effective. Let's move on to exercise 3. Choose the most suitable phrasal verb from those given in the box and fill in the blank. So you have been given some phrasal verbs and now you need to fill the blanks with the most appropriate phrasal verb. So let's first read the phrasal verbs that have been given to us. Bring forth, bring back, bring in, bring about, bring forward, bring up, bring down, bring on, bring off, bring about. So all of them use the main verb bring and then they have a preposition or an adverb and then the phrasal verb has been coined and you need to fill the 10 sentences with these words. So shall we just read it once again? Bring forth, bring back, bring in, bring out, bring forward, bring up, bring down, bring on, bring off, and bring about. So my advice to you would be that there are shades of meaning, okay, and you need to use it in the right context. So if you don't know the meaning, please use your dictionary, Google search and write the meanings and then fill in the blanks. So when you read the sentence, you will know which phrasal verb which will go into the blank. So let's do them, okay. The first one. The administration wants to dash a change in the work culture. The administration wants to bring about a change in the work culture. Did you get that? Okay, let's move to the second one. Old photos never fail to dash old memories. Old photos never fail to bring back old memories. That is, you recollect old memories. Number 3, because of the hot summer, the parents want the school to dash the exam dates. Look at all the phrasal verbs that has been given to us and then look what would fit into the blank appropriately. Because of the hot summer, the parents want the school to dash the exam dates. Bring forward, that is to, we have this Indian word preponed, not, they want to bring to hold the exams earlier because of the hot summer. Number 4, no one expected the new player to dash a sensational victory. Look at the words in the box and let's pick up the right phrasal verb. No one expected the new player to bring off a sensational victory. Unexpected, okay? Unexpected, and it was not uh, it was of course not, it's not planned. Nobody thought it would happen, and the player brought off this pulled off this victory, to use another uh, phrasal verb. The publisher hopes to dash the book next month. The publisher hopes to dash the book next month. The publisher hopes to bring out the book next month. That is, publish the book. It will hit the market. Let's move to the sixth sentence in the exercise. The opposition party tried hard to dash the government. So let's look at what would fit in right here. Let's quickly look at our phrasal words in the box, and let us choose. The opposition party tried hard to bring down the government. Bring down the government would mean topple the government. Okay. Now let's move on to 8. His casual comments sometimes dash strong reaction. His casual comments sometimes dash strong reactions. Let's look at what the phrasal verb in the box which would suit the blank ideally. Think of the context, okay? So when you're filling in the blanks with phrasal verbs, see what is appropriately suited. His casual comments sometimes brings forth strong reaction. It generates. Bring forth is to generate. Okay, and then the ninth one. He was advised to dash his proposal at the meeting. He was advised to dash he was advised to dash his proposal at the meeting. Let's go back to our phrasal verbs in the box. What could we fill it up with? Let's go back. He was advised to bring up his proposal at the meeting. Bring up here would mean table, okay, or present his proposal at the meeting. And the last one here in the exercise 3, the last sentence, let's fill this blank. Classical music does not dash a headache. Classical music does not dash a headache. Let's go back and see what's left and what would be the ideal fit for the blank. Classical music does not bring on a headache. Is that right? Yes. So students, what we did was 3 exercises where we were given choices to fill it up with the phrasal verbs. Exercise 1 and 3, we did that. And then exercise 2 was very interesting in that the main verb was given and we had to choose the particles, whether it was a preposition or an adverb, or a preposition and an adverb, and fill in the blank. So that was phrasal verb for you. So let me quickly wrap it up once again with the key points so that you will enhance your vocabulary by including phrasal verbs in your communication. Phrasal verbs are phrases that indicate action. They are generally used in spoken and written English, and also in informal texts also we use that. Often maybe in writing also, creative writing also, you come across phrasal verbs. Some of the examples would be get up, go through, write down, take after, turn down, come across, run into. These are words that we are familiar with. Sometimes a phrasal verb consists of three elements. It has a verb, a preposition, okay, or an adverb, and it could have a preposition and an adverb. Two prepositions and two adverbs. For example, look forward to, put up with. So look forward to is, look is the verb, forward is your adverb, and to is your preposition. Put up with, you see, put is your main verb, preposition up, preposition with, sit in for. So do you see this happening? Okay. When you add the verb with the preposition or the adverb, uh, the meaning will change of the verb completely. So when you add a preposition or an adverb to the verb, the meaning changes. Okay. For example, look for. Look for means search. Example, he is looking for his keys. Look up to. Uh, the meaning would be have a great deal of respect for a person. His father was his role model. He is the person he looks up to. Okay, so a role model, look up to. Look forward to. Look forward to means wait eagerly, anticipate with pleasure. She's looking forward to visiting Delhi soon. Okay, looking forward, anticipating with pleasure. Look up. Look up is to try to find some information, in a book, a dictionary, a computer. She didn't understand the word, so she looked up her dictionary. So that is what you all must do with phrasal verbs. In case you do not understand, of course, you may understand the main verb, but then with the preposition and with the adjective, or with the preposition and, adverb, the meaning completely changes. So you need to look up if you don't understand, so that you know what is the right meaning and use it in the right place. So the meaning of phrasal verbs, sometimes it's difficult to understand it. Before looking them up in a dictionary, it would be helpful also to use it in context to understand them. Okay, so try to use it in context. Look up the dictionary, Google search it. So those are ways so that you understand the meaning of phrasal verbs. Some phrasal verbs have literal meaning. They can be easily understood. For example, she opened the door and looked outside. So it's literal. That is, she opens the door and she's looking out. So it's very literal. She was walking across the street when she heard the sound of the explosion. Walking across. So she was crossing the road and then she heard the explanation. So it is literal. But sometimes phrasal verbs have idiomatic meaning. Okay, so that is they are figurative, and that's where the catch comes, and that's where it becomes difficult to understand them. For example, can you put me up for tonight? The phrasal verb put up here means, okay, to build something. For example, put up a fence or something. It, however, has a figurative meaning, idiomatic meaning here. It says, can you let someone stay in your house? Did you understand that? Okay, put up is to build. Okay, I put up the fence. I put up the picture on the wall, so that is to build, put up, that's the meaning. But then when you have something like, can you put me up for the night? Can you put me up for the night? So you have the pronoun me coming in between that also. That means it has a figurative idiomatic meaning, and it means to let someone stay at your place. Uh, the other question now would be, can they be the verb, the preposition and adverb, are they separable, inseparable? Sometimes the preposition and adverb is placed either or after the verb or after the object. For example, Mary made up a really entertaining story. Made up is together, but now it is inseparable. They go together. But look at this sentence: Mary made the story up. That is, she fabricated the story, she created the story. So here the verb is separated from the preposition up. She made the story up. So if the object is a pronoun, however, the preposition or adverb has to be placed after the pronoun. So do you see? That's the rule. If the object is a pronoun, then the preposition or adverb has to be placed after the pronoun. So that is why you had, can you put me up for tonight? You understood that? So the me pronouns were there, so it was separable. You had to separate them. For example, I'll give you some more examples. She made it up, she created it, fabricated it. Put it down. Put it down is put it down, okay? Take it off, remove. Take it off would mean remove. So do you see it, it? So the because the pronoun is coming, you are separating the what do you call verb and the preposition. Some phrasal verbs are always inseparable. You must always also remember that. For example, I came across some old photographs in the drawer. So came across is found. You cannot say I came some old photos across in a drawer. That is wrong. I mean, you cannot do that. Some phrasal verbs are inseparable. I came across some photos in a drawer. That is, I found some photos in a drawer. So, students, I hope you enjoyed today's class, and please use phrasal verbs in your use of the English language, because it makes your communication skills more enriched, and more it also shows that you have a good command over the language. Thank you so much for the privilege of your time, and I'll see you next time with another video on in the English classroom. Thank you.